All right, welcome Fourth and Goal, Fourth Down Magazine, a little weekly high school football show. We're putting on Coach Gillen here from Cedar Cliff, who, in my estimation, you have to call him the luckiest high school football coach in Pennsylvania this year because, I mean, Tommy Mealy's got meat on his bone. The guy coaches his first game as a head coach in Ireland. But, you know, everyone wrote, there was a lot written about the experience. There was a lot, you know, it took a lot of work and preparation to go into it. As you've gotten a couple of weeks into the regular season now, we're through 3 weeks, what were the impacts that you're seeing of that positively and negatively from taking that long trip and having to fire up your engines a little bit differently this year?
I think, you know, we were a little bit sluggish in week 2, no doubt. And I don't know that there was any way to avoid that, to be honest.
Right, yeah, that's a good point.
But in terms of, so that would be the negative. In terms of the positive, I mean, those kids got an experience that, it's an experience of a lifetime for them. And the things we were able to do over there, and also the things that we were able to grow in as a football team. You know, putting up with the jet lag, putting up with the hours in the airport, and some of those things just drew us closer as a team and as a unit. And it was neat to see a bunch of guys go over there and do those tours together and visit the castles and tour the coast and just see them draw together and lean on each other and then go to battle in the games. It was a neat experience overall.
You know, the coach dropped that game in Ireland, and coach said that they were a little bit sluggish coming out, but you guys have won both your games since you returned stateside. So they're 0-1 overseas and 2-0 inside the 50. It's a continental state, so we'll call them the 2-0 United States team. But your first year head coach, 6 years assistant at Cedar Cliff, you were assistant over at Elko before that, but it's different being a head coach, is it not? You knew that, but what have you found in 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks that you sort of didn't expect has cropped up and you're like, yeah, that's a little something I probably didn't think about before as a head coach?
I don't know that there's anything that I didn't expect, so to speak, or any surprises. The biggest thing is you don't have time to breathe, you know, and with you know, game planning and you know, our non-conference schedule is a meat grinder, and hopefully we're hoping that gets us ready to play in a very competitive Keystone Division, obviously.
Right.
You know, so I think that part of it maybe is a little bit more than what I expected in terms of you know, game planning, getting kids ready to go, getting our football team ready to play, and then it's nonstop. As soon as it's over and you have a chance to take a breath, you just reload. You know, and you're watching more film and getting ready for the next week, which is things that we've always done, or that I've always done as an assistant.
Right.
But now when you're the guy, it falls on your shoulders. You know, so you're really trying to dot every I and cross every T.
You know, you're only 3 weeks in, and it might not be fair, but I think it's okay to ask this question. A lot of first-year coaches have met many and worked with many over the years. At the end of the first year, they always said that Friday night was the biggest culture shock to them. Not the whole aura, but the game itself. They realized that they were looking at it and watching it differently than they ever had before, because they were coordinator for this, or they were looking at that, or they were just one side of the ball, they were an offensive coordinator. But when you're now the head coach, you're looking at A to Z and everything in between. And a lot of guys said that they were that Friday night experience on the sideline while you're still watching football was completely different than they had experienced before.
Yeah, I think there's some truth to that. You have to have a lot of faith in your assistants. You have to have a lot of faith in the guys that you have on staff and that you've entrusted. You know, for me, I'm the offensive coordinator for my defensive guys, and just kind of let them go. And we have a phenomenal staff. They do a phenomenal job. It's funny that you say that and then you ask that question from a standpoint of my first game was in Ireland, so
right.
It was surreal to begin with. It would have been surreal if I was an assistant.
Right.
So being a head coach, you know, I didn't really know any differently in terms of being a head coach. That was my first experience, and it was crazy to begin with. So, you know, we're kind of hopefully here working into a groove where guys are starting to get comfortable with their responsibilities on the staff and whatnot. So,
well, it looks like your offense, even though you lost one game and you won 2 games, forget the loss. I mean, they have not had any trouble scoring points, and we know the high caliber quarterback we left. But there's still some, let's say, kibbles and bits in the cupboard that are left over from that offense that really have served you guys well. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I think, you know, we're really we're really seeking to be a balanced offense. We're trying to be able to run the football and throw the football, which is extremely difficult to do. And then on top of that, to boot, when you have a kid under center that is a dual threat kid like Grant is, it becomes a nightmare for teams to defend. And truthfully, we've had two outings now where we've executed pretty well, but we've left so many plays on the field. Watching those films, and what we're preaching to our kids is we're really trying to execute at a higher level than what we did in those last two contests.
All right, Coach. I never ask softball questions. I do sometimes ask softball. You coach in the mid-pen, you coach in the LL. Biggest difference in your opinion between the two leagues? Obviously, at the higher levels, the mid-pen conference outside of Wilson, and they're ready, really. I mean, sure. But the greatest success is coming from the mid-pen conference. The biggest difference between the two, in your opinion, in terms of football, and why? Why do you think that difference exists?
Ultimately, I think
it's not an easy question.
No, it's not at all. Because I'm a graduate of the LL.
Sure.
I was a graduate of Elko. So again, I'm not speaking anything negatively of the LL.
No, I'm not kicking them. I'm just saying you've had a taste of both, and one's winning consistently at a higher level,
right?
At the quad A level for a reason.
In terms of the mid-pen, you don't get a week off. And what I mean when I say that is once we start our mid-pen schedule, right, it is a legitimate meat grinder where anybody can beat anybody. You saw that last year where we had obviously there was in the mid-pen Keystone Division last year there was two district champions.
Correct.
They shared the title with us.
And only one team missed the playoffs.
So I mean it's incredible. It really is. And week in week out, even the teams that were down, so to speak, had athletes. Right. They had athletes at multiple positions that worried you. When you're putting a game plan together. I don't know that the LL can boast that. I mean, there's obviously some outstanding programs down there. Manheim Central is a great program. We just played Cocalico. They're an outstanding system, outstanding coaching staff. They gave us all we could handle. I mean, it was a phenomenal football game. So, but top to bottom, the mid-pen is just, I think it's some of the best football in the state.
Yeah, I've always thought the biggest difference, and I've told many coaches, most have agreed. I said it's just you can find 3 or 4 games, say in the LL, that you're gonna that those are games that you can. But sometimes I said you can't find when you get to your league play in the top 2 divisions in mid-pen. I said if you name 1 or 2, it's pretty good. 2's a stretch.
Absolutely.
So I think there's depth too. I think the teams have a little more depth, a little more.
Yeah, I would agree.
Athleticism, but man, Wilson's a machine. They are not. They are a machine. They are a machine. So, all right, Coach. You think that's the strength of your offense? Is your the depth and talent you have at wide? Offensively.
I think absolutely. Yeah. We have 2 pretty good offensive linemen that have really spearheaded what we've been able to do in the run game, and Jaden Denny has really been outstanding running football. But in terms of coming back, the biggest known quantity that we had was our wide receiver.
Okay, so they were known coming back. It's 3 weeks. Are they delivering?
Absolutely.
Are they up to expectations?
Yes.
Are they a little ahead of even what you would have thought for them?
I don't know that they're ahead from the standpoint of we're asking them to do a lot, and we're very we're very critical of them.
Right. That's exactly what I want to get at. They're held to a higher standard because it should be. And after 3 weeks, they still deliver because I think it's a key component for you guys. I mean, it was always last year, even though there was a lot of good receivers, it was always how can Andy Ford perform. It's at a really high standard.
Yeah.
I mean, the running game helped.
Yes, absolutely. And we've been preaching. In terms of the running game. We mentioned the running game. We've been preaching to our football team. If you want to win playoff games in Pennsylvania, you got to be able to run football.
Labor, you do.
So and there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
You have to build a pass. You have to build a pass.
Absolutely, and the teams that win things are able to do both. The teams that are a high octane type of offense are able to run the football and they're able to throw. But getting back to the wide receiving core, the beauty of our wide receiving core is the fact that any one of those guys, in terms of Noah Malone, John McGee, and Mike Vitti, are a number 1 guy. Can be a number 1 wide receiver.
So
who are you going to take away? You don't necessarily have the ability to, if you're going to bracket one of our weak side wide receivers, then we're going to be able to go to the strong side and take advantage of what you're doing there, or vice versa. And that's really what we're looking for. And those guys so far have really been able to answer the call.
So their experience, you're holding them to a higher standard. They're looking for a little bit more out of them earlier. How did they get better? How did they? Everyone's always looking to get better. And you think they have? How, in your opinion, have they collectively ignored those three targets? It's okay to have three number one.
Absolutely, yeah, it's great.
That's what they are.
Number one, I think, all of those guys have committed to our offseason program and been able to, really better themselves in the weight room and whatnot. Also, they are very coachable. All three of them are very coachable in the nuances of route running and what we're trying to accomplish in advancing, which is really a strength. And the neat thing to watch, and we're still working on this, is them building chemistry with Grant. In terms of and when I say we left some plays on the field, there's a number of deep balls that we had guys open that we didn't quite hit. And that's a work in progress. As we get, that was something that Andrew Ford was phenomenal. He threw a great deep ball. Grant is getting there, and it's something that we are working, tirelessly at to be able to do that. Because all three of those kids are deep threats, and I mean it just becomes a nightmare for defenses.
All right, welcome back to Fourth and Goal, Fourth Down Magazine weekly high school football show, joined by Cedar Cliff quarterback Grant Breneman. He has an older brother, but we're not going to say his name because he is the high school quarterback for Cedar Cliff now. He is one of the many faces, but the quarterback is always the face of the football program. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
How's your parents doing?
Pretty good.
Good. First year starter as a quarterback, but one of the things that always helps a first year starter as a quarterback is you have some good wide receivers. They were experienced, they're versatile, they have the ability to run short routes and carve guys up with uppercuts, or they can go deep. What did you learn from them as you sort of moved into the role of I am the quarterback this year?
I think just having them out there gives me a lot of confidence. I get to learn from them. Obviously they've had varsity experience, so they know the speed of the game. So just give them tips here and there. And honestly, when you get in trouble, throw it up to one of them.
Do you feel like that there isn't really a number one guy that you have sort of three guys in your mind who are number one receivers?
Yeah, definitely. I think that all of them have different characteristics too. They're not all the same player. Beatty's better route runner, probably the best route runner. Has great hands.
Right.
Delvin, great vertical threat. Also controlling routes. And also, Tom McGee is another vertical, very fast, but can also beast and bust.
So I've asked you a couple these questions, we ask our questions. So guys up front matter. I mean, you can have all the wide receivers and the skill you want and the running backs you want, but they matter. Are they better at run blocking or pass blocking as you guys have developed, moved into these first 3 weeks?
I think so far run blocking. I think just because they can be so physical up front. I think that we have two very good guards and built up.
So they need to work on it. You're not as comfortable with them pass blocking.
I'm comfortable with it, but obviously
they're better run blocking.
Yeah, and in high school it's pretty hard. It's not an easy thing to pass block.
Through 2 weeks, you've had some success in the passing game, but he's a dual threat quarterback. He's just not like the guy who threw with this arm last year. Grant's more of a dual threat quarterback. Which one are you more comfortable with right now, running the ball or passing the ball? Which one's your favorite through 3 weeks?
It's hard to say. But it is nice to be able to tuck the ball in. You need to, whether it's third and fourth, third just take it. But it's hard to say. I'll say throwing the ball. I'm a quarterback. I gotta say throwing the ball.
Did you always play quarterback? Have you always been wanted to play quarterback? Been a quarterback?
Pretty much since the first grade. I've been a quarterback. So nothing much.
Did they try to move you to a different position?
Not really. I played defense though. I've always played defense. So that's something I take pride in.
You playing defense now?
Yes.
Playing defense with your quarterback?
Stop.
You need to put the coach back there. A little bit of defense, it never hurts a quarterback. My favorite quarterbacks have always been the ones that play quarterback and outside linebacker. Those have always been the best. What position? What do you play on defense, and how many plays do you play a game?
Safety, I play safety. I played a lot over at Penn Manor, but it just depends. It just depends on how the game's going. In more passing situations.
It's a long season. It's a long season. What? I lost my train of thought. Okay, let's go back to this. Cedar Cliff has won 2 games in a row. They play Waynesboro this week in week 3. All right, Grant. They're looking to make it 3 in a row. One of my favorite things to always ask a player when I get to interview him is, we're in the huddle. What's your favorite play that you love to hear sent into you or signaled into you or whatever it is? And give it to me. I don't want any details. I don't want what anyone's doing because we're not giving away just the numbers. I want to hear the call. And look right at that camera and give it to me.
All right. Probably just simply Boston Right 92.
Boston Right 92.
Yeah.
Is that a run or pass? All right. Boston Right 92. I like that. Boston's wrong. So, you're only sophomore, correct? First year quarterback, sophomore, already off to a great start. It's safe to say again at Cedar Cliff, the quarterback position is in very good hands for a period. I mean, it's under Coach Jim Catafio. It was, multiple quarterbacks. It's been 8 years of the position being a strength for Cedar Cliff. Expect it to continue. Thanks, Grant.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to 4th and Goal, 4th Down Magazine's high school football show. I'm solo. Bart. Bart. Where's Coach Miller this week? But no, Coach Miller has a good reason not to be here. So it's hard to talk about week 3 by yourself, but I can talk about week 4, the upcoming week, and a couple games that grab my attention. It's not the greatest schedule in the world. Not gonna lie, I don't sugarcoat it. I'm not the shiny happy people guy. I'm not gonna say, oh look, these are all good high school football games. There's some stinkers in there. There's no doubt, but there are a couple good ones. I like the Steel High Milton Hershey game. That game is going to be at Cottage Hill. Steel High's coming up, a win over Newport. The absent Coach Miller, who's absent today, he made a good call last week. He said Newport's going to give them fits, and they did. I don't know why he picked them to win by 3 touchdowns then, but Newport did give fits. It took overtime. Milton Hershey's got to feel really good about itself. They won the Cocoa Bean Bowl. I can't remember how many years ago. It's been a long enough time that it really mattered that Milton Hershey won that football game over Hershey last week. I kind of like the Spartans. I like where the Spartans are at right now. Another game I like in week 4. Believe it or not, quietly, Harrisburg's 3-0. It's almost like, really? Are the Cougars 3-0? Harrisburg is 3-0. They're going to take on Cumberland Valley, who gave every bit of protein powder they had, and against Bishop McDevitt, only a late touchdown by the Crusaders. Knocked off CV 6-3. And the one thing about playing the Crusaders, it's still true today, it'll be true for a long time, is they beat you up twice. They beat you on the day that they win the game, and then there's a hangover that they beat you up the week after. Harrisburg's not that physical team. Cumberland Valley is. Let's see what's going on. I kind of like the Eagles in this one, although, I sort of like the high wire act the Cougars run, because they're not afraid to run into a wall at 100 miles an hour and go back out and fix it. And lastly, believe it or not, Redland's going to be 4-0. I'm going to say it right now. Redland is going to be 4-0 heading into week 5. They are playing Hershey. Hershey's clearly struggling this season. And Redland just keeps on winning football games. And they're giving up fewer points than you would think. And don't forget that in this matchup, because Hershey's struggling to score points. So those are 3 games in week 4 I like. Check out all our picks, predictions, and rankings on 4th Down Magazine, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Out.